Yeah, I should preface it with like, what do I know? I mean, I'm wearing a Hero of the Storm shirt. I've only done YouTube stuff, so this is like amateur director hour. Here we go.
The thing is to not tell an actor. Don't tell an actor they look fat on camera. Just don't.
How do you say this? Don't not say anything. Don't say any. Don't not say anything.
Don't just tear them apart.
Don't
for
tell
no
your
reason.
talent, this isn't working.
Yeah.
I can't use any of this.
When you start saying you're doing it wrong and you don't tell them what they're doing wrong, then it ceases to be play. It's like you're slapping them on the wrist or something like that.
I guess this is what it's not what it's not to say.
You'll find that all actors are different. So the idea that you can't say anything to an actor is probably not true. Unless like you shouldn't say that to a human being, but even then, you could probably say stuff to an actor you can't even say to a human being because you're trying to get something.
I'm thinking of very specific pieces of bad direction I have given you, or non-usable, result-oriented pieces of direction where I would just scream, "Be more disgusting."
You would say, be more disgusting.
I remember I didn't take the time to give you proper direction, and when you weren't giving me what I was looking for in a take, I would say, quite frankly, no, no. You know, or you would ask me, how was that, Dez? And I would shake my head and go, it is what it is.
Yeah, there were a couple times you go, hey, it is what it is. We don't have enough time.
We don't have time. We guess we got to move on. So next scene, and that just breaks your spirit. That doesn't give you constructive criticism to build off of.
Yeah, I think in many ways saying that like, I'm just not getting it, I can't tell you what it is the opposite of what directing should be. You should definitely know what it is. You should know what you're looking for, and then it should emerge from a dialogue with the actor.
It just becomes shorthand communication. Like you should be able to talk to them in different ways. You know, just like you talk to your friends differently depending on who you're talking to. You just get to know them.
If you are getting the same results over and over again, you need to, as a director, to switch up your game and try a different technique. Your actor doesn't know what's inside your head unless you communicate that. So again, you come over, you be quiet, you be polite, and you let them know they're doing a great job and give them some tweak direction.
But you keep it quiet and you make it just between the two of you. I also think that's part of that trust thing that not everyone gets to hear with the conversations we have. This is about you and me, and you're safe with me. I'm not gonna blurt out all of your intimacies to an entire crew of 50.
Yeah, I don't like to yell from behind camera. Like if you run your set smoothly, you have these free times. Like you have these moments where you can, either look at your sides or you can talk to an actor, and I'll take them aside and talk to them, privately.
Herzog says you must never be afraid, and that's the thing, a big part of it, because a lot of the times, like I see guys, they approach the actors like, okay, so I think it's like, I don't want to, I'm not quite sure. It's like, don't be afraid of that. The moment you do that, that actor's looking at that situation and being like, okay, well, this person has no idea what they want. They're not really sure of it. I'm gonna do my thing, and I may just ignore you as a director.
The actors want specific, clear direction. If you give them something general and vague, like they'll think to themselves, oh, they'll kind of start directing themselves.
Yeah. Especially if you don't know the precise bit of direction to get what you need, that's perfectly okay, just pull your actor aside and let them know, look man, this is what the scene's about, this is the emotional core of where we're trying to get, and I'm trying to get you there, help me help you,
So much of directing is casting and finding the right person, and sometimes you cast somebody who's not a professional actor.
Non-actors. A lot of times people don't know what to do with their hands. The moment the camera's in front of them, it's like all of a sudden it's like, I have these hands, what do I do with these hands? Make sure, in that case, make sure that they have something just in their hands.
People feel safer and they free up if they have stuff to do. Like if you just make somebody sit there and all of a sudden they got to act, it's one thing. If you make somebody sit there and you're like, you're a security guard, like have a pen and paper. Actually, you know what? Stop it. Next time when it comes in, write the person's name down. Ask them who the name is and actually write it down and make sure your form is correct. Now all of a sudden that person's thinking like a security guard, make sure the form is correct, and even if they don't realize it, like it'll be more natural.
You're only hurting yourself as a director when you simply puppeteer an actor. Meaning like when you say like raise your right eyebrow more, or like you're doing too weird of a thing with your mouth. Like that's literally pretty much puppeteering a human being.
Like don't ever say a line reading. Not true. Some actors don't mind a line reading, and maybe you need a very specific line reading because you're trying to mimic a parody of something. Like you're trying to say exactly what Doctor Who says. Well, then line read to explain it to them.
So they say don't give an actor a line reading, but that's not true unless you're a professional voice actor or you're doing voice acting. You can give voice actors line readings, or so I'm told. I've never done that. Don't quote me on that.
If you have a person who's nailing it with both the look department and also has the right sort of soul for the part, then when you give them a line reading and you give them a really technical direction, you're losing all that soul part. Meaning like you're not giving them agency to be a great actor. You know what I mean? You're just sort of using their face.
We want to do it the way you want us to, so please just inform us. You know, you just gotta kind of handle us with kid gloves is the best way to put it.
Kids you have to be very direct with. Kids you have to give a line reading, be very specific, because kids are natural sort of imitators, and there's no freaking 8-year-old doesn't have life experience to draw upon. You can't ask, like, the last time that kid was sad was when he didn't get an extra cookie after dinner. Like, that's not a basis for a dramatic scene. You can't draw upon that. There's no Meisner technique that covers that. So you can just tell a kid, be sad, and then tell him how sad and give him a line read. That's how you can do kids.
That whole thing, like, I'm gonna look at you and recite my line, that's the classic child actor performance. But when you actually kind of let the, what's the word, extemporate, when you let the child improvise and kind of just be that kid, because they already are that character, it's going to be the most natural, believable performance ever, if you can sort of put them within the vibe of the scene. I think it's really important for young directors to learn sometimes you can over-direct. Like, you can see the actor's already in this mode, and you don't need to give them the whole speech. You don't need to tell them a bunch of stuff. They're already on that path. They're one take away from it. Just let them do their thing.
I feel like I talk a lot, and I feel like I'm over descriptive of what I want. And they're like, yep, I get it. You can stop talking now. Let me do my job. And it's like, okay. So I'm getting the hang of that, you know? It's like, I want the words to be right. And that's just me being a new director, you know? So don't be over descriptive. Quick, clear, concise direction is the best direction.
Over-directing and micromanaging shows a lack of trust and a lack of experience. Sometimes getting into a car is just getting into a car, and you don't need to overanalyze the scene. And trust your performer to make interesting decisions.
You know, I think one of the big red flags for a first-time director is indecisiveness. And it's okay to be thinking about things. It's okay to consider possibilities and to be experimental, but nothing is worse than being indecisive.
A director should learn all the crafts, and that includes acting. So you should study it and you should attempt it. You know, it doesn't mean you have to become an actor all of a sudden, but you should understand what's going on in an actor's mind.
It's really good, very helpful to know how the actor works and know the actor's process, because it's just communication. At the end of the day, it's all communication.
It's somewhere in the gray area, because what they don't want you to tell them every single thing they're supposed to do and how to say it. They also really don't want you to drop them in a scene and say, do whatever you want to. So usually, and this is my personal style, but usually you go in and you say, well, okay, you have your realization right here, you're gonna go over to this place, and then, you know, you basically give blocking, but not that much more, if you've cast correctly, and you let them use their preparation and what's going on inside their head, and they do the rest. But you tell them where to go in the room, because they might come running out of the gate with this awesome thing and the cameraman didn't know where they were gonna go or anything. Like, you give them the basics. You block the scene, certainly.
So look, I mean, in general, know your actors. That's all you're trying to do. You get to know your actors, and just like friends and other people, as weird as it sounds, you're learning to manipulate people. That's what directing is. And not in a mean way, it's just in a way to, you're trying to get them to empathize. You're trying to have them express emotion, or you're trying to get them to do something very, very specific.
Especially an actor and a director, you need to have a really good relationship. You need to be comfortable with each other, especially the actor, because I mean, you're being vulnerable for this person. You're doing it for them, so they need to build a little bit of trust with you. However that is, however you want to do that, whatever your style is, just make sure you, I mean, I wouldn't say like forcefully become friends, but you kind of got to be on the same team. You got to be friends by the time the cameras start rolling. So you'll go to bat for them and do anything and everything they ask of you. So that's definitely something you should do as a director.
I mean, good actors are good actors. They're gonna ace it. They're gonna do a great job. They're gonna do the work, and they're not gonna let you down. So trust your actors.
So for a director, it's very important to let the actor know. Show the preparation that you've put into this. Let them know this is what I'm going for, but it's okay to throw that all away if in the moment we come up with something better.
It's hurtful to you if you stay so married to your idea of what's inside your head that you're not keeping an open mind to what's coming at you. Because actors can give you incredible things, and it's really up to you to miss them.
This is awful. I'm comparing actors to like horses, but it's like horse whispering. Have you seen The Horse Whisperer? Like, Robert Redford doesn't like timidly approach the horse. Nah, he has confidence. Be confident. Otherwise, the actor, like the scared horses in that movie, might turn around, kick you in the face, break your neck.